What's up guys, it's T-Square Games here, and today we're going to teach you how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. I've had a lot of friends that have had trouble solving their Rubik's Cube, and I've tried to teach them, and it hasn't really worked. So that's why I'm making this tutorial, so they can, if they don't understand the concept, they can pause and rewind and stuff, and I only have to say it once. But this will work for you too. So let's get started. So either your cube's already scrambled and you're trying to learn how to solve it, or it's solved and someone solved it for you and you want to solve it, or something other than that, or you just want to get better or something like that. Well, let me just scramble up this cube here. Okay, so I'll say that's nice and scrambled. So you need to know a few things before we start. So these pieces in the middle are the centers. The centers will never move. The centers will always be in their same spot. This orange will always be next to this green, no matter what. This red will be next to this green, so on and so forth. White will always be opposite yellow. Green will always be opposite blue. Red will always be opposite orange. So, then these pieces with the two colors in the middles, these are called edges. There are 12 of them. These pieces with 3 colors on the corners are called the corners. There are 8 of them. So, what you need to do first is you need to locate the white center on your cube. Most likely this will have a logo on it. Mine doesn't. I re-stickered mine. But that doesn't matter. So find your white center and put your finger on it. Then find a white edge, meaning an edge piece with white on it. It can't be like a corner with white on it. It has to be an edge piece. Then you need to look at the color on that edge piece that's not white. So in this case for me it's blue. So what we want to do is we want to connect this blue part to the blue center. And then after that, we connect this white part to the white center. And in this fashion, we build a cross with these matching up. So let me show you how I would do it in this case. So since I have to flip this edge, although I don't really, for me, I would just bring it to the side. And then now it's in a good position that I can just connect this here. So once you have this connected, then you have to take this white and connect it up here without messing this up. So that can be done by turning the blue face to connect them. Right? So then we have one leg of the cross, so we need those other 3. So now this one, this other white edge, and this is the next step after this to find another white edge. This one, the color is green. So what we want to do is we want to find the green center here. And we want to connect the green part of this to the green center. And in this case it's very easy with a 180-degree turn. And now they're connected. So then we can lift up this white without disturbing this by turning the green face. And now we find another white edge. So let's see, here's one. Red, white. So I know that red is opposite orange. And this orange one's already connected for some reason. I don't know. It must have done it automatically. But what we want to do is we want to bring this red to the red center over here. So one of the best ways we can do that is by turning this face 180 degrees to bring it over. And then we can bring this up to connect it to the cross, like we've done with the others. But then this brings this all the way down. So you just have to reconnect this normally. And now you have the cross. And if you didn't understand that, you can go back and do it. And there's another way to do it where you bring all the edges to the bottom and you connect them. But you could probably find that in some other tutorial. But I'm going to move on to the corners. So what you need to do now to build the white face is you need to place in these corners. So how you do that is you hold the white face facing up, and you look for a corner piece with 3 colors that's white in this bottom layer while white's facing up, and the white has to be facing you. It can't be like down here. If you don't have any of these in this bottom layer, then just stay tuned because I'll explain how to get on if you don't. So what you want to do is you want to look at these 2 colors, blue and red, but the ones besides white. So you take this piece and you put it between those 2 centers. So blue and red are here, so I'll take it, and this piece is now between blue and red, so blue and red. So now we want to place this up here. So how we do that is we turn the bottom away. So we turn it away from the side it's on. So since it's on the right, we turn it to the left. Then we bring down the right. So the side it was on, we bring that down. Then we place it in to the right, so by bringing it back, and then we lift it up. And you can see that that's correct, and those 2 colors are right, and that's white is facing up. So now we'll find another white corner. Here's one right here. And this is in the optimal position because it's on the bottom layer and the white is facing us while this is facing up. So we'll look at the other 2 colors, which are green and orange, and we will put it between those 2 centers, so green, orange, and now we bring it to the left because it's on the right, so we bring it to the opposite, which is the left. Then we bring down the side where it was, which was the right, and we bring it back to place it in here, and we lift it up. Alright, so now we have 2 corners left, one here, and they're both in the optimal position. So we want to put this between its 2 centers, so blue, orange. And now since this is on the left, unlike the others we've done that have been on the right, it's on the left. So we bring it to the right, which is the opposite. We bring down the left, which is where it was. We return this to put it in, and we bring this up. So then that's right, and we can just come over here to our last corner, and it's already between these centers, so we don't need to put it in there, and we'll bring it to the right since it's on the left. Bring this down, place it in, and lift it up. And now you have your first layer done. Because these are connected, and your white face is done, and these are all done. So now let me explain the cases that might happen if none of your corners are in the optimal position. Okay, so here I have my cross built and I have 2 corners incorrectly, but I have the 2 other possible situations that could happen. So in this, there's the white piece on the bottom and the white piece up here. And those are the 2 other things that can happen. So we'll start with the one up here because this is a little bit easier than this. So what you want to do, just to get it into this bottom layer where you want it, is you hold it so it's facing you. Then, if it's on the right, then you turn this whole face to the right. And then, you turn the bottom face to the right to bring it out. Then you can reconnect this part of the cross. If it was on the left, you turn it to the left and then turn the bottom to the left. So now this is in the optimal position, and you can place it in how you would normally. So now, as you can see, this piece is now on the bottom. So what you want to do when you have a piece on the bottom, is you want to turn this bottom layer so that you hold it underneath a hole in the top. That means a place where there's not already a white corner. So here's how you would fix it. So you can you have to turn this face so that when you turn it, this white part ends up on the bottom layer where you want it to be. Then you turn the bottom face twice, doesn't matter which direction, and then you lift these back up. So now it's in the right position and you can place it in like you normally would. So now it's time to move on to the second layer. Alrighty, so going to the second layer. Now the second layer is probably one of the easiest parts of solving the cube. So what you want to do is you want to hold white facing up, and you want to look in this bottom layer for an edge piece, like this, that does not have yellow on it. So like this one, it has red and green. So I'm going to connect this red part that's facing me to the red center. Now what I have to do is I have to look at this color underneath red. I have to turn this bottom layer away from this color. So this color is either on the left or on the right. So I turn it away from the green, which is here. So I turn it to the right. Now we keep track of which way we turn it. So since I'm turning it to the right, I bring down the opposite, which is the left. Okay? So now I reconnect this edge, so it's here again. Then I lift up these whites. But now, as you can see, we've misplaced this corner. But it's right down here, and it's already between its two colors. So we hold it so the corner is facing us, and we bring it to the side, bring these down, place it in, and lift it up like we normally would. But now, this red-green edge is placed in. So now, we go back onto the bottom layer, and try to find an edge that does not have yellow. So here's one. It's got red and blue. So what we have to do is we connect it to a center. It already is. Then we have to turn away from this bottom color. So I turn away from blue. So blue's over here, so I turn it this way. Now since I'm turning to the left, I now bring down the right. Then I reconnect these, and I bring these whites up. But since we've misplaced the corner, we hold the corner facing us and place it in like we normally would. And now this edge is placed in. Alright, so we'll find our next edge. We'll go this green-orange one. So we'll connect it to its center. Then we look at this color and turn it away from that color. So we turn away from orange, so we turn to the right. Next we bring down the opposite, which is the left. Then we reconnect the edge and lift up these whites. Now we turn the corner to face us. We bring it out of the way, bring this down, place it in, and we lift it up. So now we find our last edge without yellow, which is this blue-orange one, and we will place it here to connect. Then we turn it away from this color, so orange. So we turn it to the left. Then we bring down the opposite, which is the right. Then we reconnect these. Then we lift this up. Then we place in this corner. We hold it to face us. Turn it to the side. Bring this down. Place it in. And lift it up. And now, our first two layers are complete. So sometimes you will have a case like this, where all the edges in the bottom layer have yellow on them. And this is because these two edges, or all four of your edges, but in this case it's two, need to be switched. So what you need to do is you hold the cube with the one you want to get out on the left. Then you place in this corner like you normally would. So you bring it to the right, bring this down, reconnect, lift this up, place in the corner, and now you will find that your piece, your edge, is on the bottom layer. So then you can place this one in. So now, your other one is down here, so you can connect it and place it in like you normally would. So there you go. That's how you solve the second layer, if all the edges on the bottom are yellow. You could also have this case, where you're done the second layer, but then this edge needs to be flipped. So you hold that on the left, and you place in this yellow edge. Now you'll find that edge down here, and you can bring it to connect, and then place it in like you normally would. And there you go, your second layer is solved. Now we move on to the third layer. Now, in the third layer, there are 4 possible cases you can have when you're looking right at it. You could either have this dot, this L shape, this line, or this cross. So we'll go back to the dot, and we'll start at the dot. So if you have the dot, this is what you need to do. You can hold it any way you want, because no matter which way you hold it, a dot is still a dot. So hold it any way you want, then turn the front face clockwise, then bring up the right, turn the top clockwise, bring down the right, bring the top back, and bring those whites down. So now you have this L shape that I showed earlier. So when you have the L shape, you hold it so one side is facing you and the other side is facing to the right. And you do the same thing. So you turn the face clockwise, you bring up the right, turn the top clockwise, you bring down the right, you bring the top back, and then you bring these whites down. So now you have the line. And when you have the line, you hold the line horizontal. And you do the same thing. You turn the face clockwise, lift up the right, turn the top clockwise, bring down the right, bring the top back, and bring the face down. So now you have the cross. Ignore these corners. You're just focusing on the cross now. Now the next step is to align the cross, meaning these pieces all line up. So what you want to do first is you want to turn this top layer so that at least 2 of the edges match up with their centers. And if they're the centers, or if the edges are perpendicular like this, you want to hold the 2 incorrect ones, so one is facing you and one is facing to the right. If they're across from each other, then you hold one facing you and one facing away from you, the correct ones. And then you do this algorithm. Bring up the right, turn the top twice, bring down the right, bring the top back once, bring up the right, bring the top back, and bring down these whites. And now, it might not look like it, but with one turn, our cross is aligned. And if you had the piece across from each other, then you have the case that I just had, and you can do the algorithm one more time to align your cross. So, now the next step is to place the corners. Now, to place the corners, that means that a corner is in its right spot. That means that this corner, this blue, red, and yellow corner, should be here in between blue, red, and yellow. Its orientation doesn't matter. So if you have no corners placed correctly, like I do, then you hold it any way you want, and you lift up the left, turn the top clockwise, lift up the right, bring the top back, bring down these whites, bring this white back, bring these down, and then realign the cross. And now you look all around the cube and you find a corner that's correctly aligned. And I have found mine. This one. Green, yellow, red. Green, yellow, red. So now when you have your corner that's correctly placed, you hold that on the bottom right. You do the same thing. You lift up the left, turn the top clockwise, lift up the right, bring the top back, bring these whites down, bring this white back, bring these whites down, and realign the cross. And now you check, are any of your other corners right? And I know that no, because if this one isn't right, then the rest of them aren't right. You can only have one 0 or 4 corners correctly placed. So I know I have to do it one more time. So lift up the left, turn the top clockwise, lift up the right, bring the top back, bring these whites down, bring this white back, bring these whites down, and realign the cross. And now all our corners are correctly placed. So now the next step is to align the corners. Now this step has the most possible cases that you can have. I believe there are like 8 or 9 of them. I don't know, but I'll do my best to show all of them. So I'll get started with the this one that I have here, which 2 corners are correct, and then these ones are incorrect, and the yellows are facing away from each other. In this case, you would perform this algorithm. Lift up the right, turn the top twice, bring down the right, bring the top back once, bring up the right, bring this top back, and bring these down. Then don't move the cube. Then you lift up the left, turn the top twice, bring down the left, bring the top forward the same way once, bring up the left, turn the top again, and bring these down. And now it has changed to this case. This is another one of the cases where these are correct, but then these are facing to the side. So you do the same algorithm again. You lift up the right, turn the top twice, bring down the right, return the top once, bring up the right, bring the top back, and bring these down. Then you don't move the cube, bring up the left, turn the top twice, bring down the left, turn the top again, the same way, bring up the right, or the left, sorry, put that in, and then bring this down. And your cube is solved. So now let me go over the rest of the cases. Here's another case you might have on the last layer, where all of the corners are placed correctly, but none of them are orientated correctly. So what you want to do in this case, and in this case you have these facing this way and this way, is you can hold them so one side of them is facing this way and the other one's facing this way, and you do that big long algorithm that I just showed you. So bring up the right, turn the top twice, bring down the right, bring the top back once, bring up the right, place that white in, bring this down, then lift up the left, turn the top twice, bring down the left, turn the top the same way, bring up the left, place it in, and bring them down. So now these two are oriented correctly, so you just need to orient these two. So you do the same thing. And the cube is solved. Another time you might have this case where you have 2 of these corners correct, but they're opposite. So what you want to do is you want to hold the cube so that this corner that's facing to the side is in the bottom right. Then you do the big long algorithm. So lift up the right, turn the top twice, bring down the right, return this once, bring up the right, place it in, bring it down, lift up the left, turn the top twice, bring down the left, turn the top the same way, bring up the left, place it in, bring these down. So now these 2 are correct, and you just do these how you normally would. So there you go, your cube is solved. Another case you might have on the last layer is this case, where you have 1 corner correct but the rest are wrong. But in this case, when you hold the right corner on the bottom left, then this corner, the yellow, is facing to this side. So what you have to do is you have to hold it like this with your correct corner in the bottom left, and you do the big long algorithm. So lift up the right, turn the top twice, bring down the right, bring the top back once, bring up the right, place it in, bring this down, lift up the left, turn the top twice, bring down the left, turn the top the same way, bring up the left, place it in, bring those down. So now those 2 are correct. And then you need to do the algorithm twice on this side. The cube is solved. You might also have this case where you have none of them correct. These 2 are facing to the side and these 2 are facing away from each other. So you might want to tackle these first because you can do it in one go of the algorithm. So you bring up the right, turn the top twice, bring down the right, turn the top once, bring up the right, bring this back, bring these down, lift up the left, turn the top twice, bring down the left, turn the top again once, bring up the left, place this in, bring these down. Now you turn the cube, and you do the algorithm twice. And there you go, cube solved. Alrighty, so this is the final last layer case, is when you have one corner correct, and then this corner to the right of it is the yellow's facing towards you. So what you have to do is you have to hold it with this on the bottom left, like you normally would, and just do the algorithm that we've been doing this whole time. So lift up the right, turn the top twice, bring this down, return the top, lift up the right, bring this back, bring this down, lift up the left, turn the top twice, bring down the left, cycle the top once, bring up the left, this in, bring this down, and then you come to this case, which I already showed you, so you start here, and you just do it. Yeah, and then your cube is solved. So that's it for this tutorial, guys, and thank you for watching. Sorry if that was painfully long, but that's how you solve the Rubik's Cube. You just need to do that a couple more times. I recommend after you've done one layer, then practice, then second layer, then practice, and just practice over and over again until you've got it down pat. And yeah, so that's how you solve the Rubik's Cube. Thanks for watching. T-Squared out.